Hi folks, Chris Voss here from the ChrisVossShow.com, the ChrisVossShow.com. Got a blog post I want to share with you, of course, review the latest in social media and technology. This is the latest phone reviews that we're doing. We, of course, review all the latest and greatest phones from all the major carriers of phones that are out there. You name it, we cover it. So, anyway, be sure to tune in and subscribe to all of our channels so you can get the latest updates on what's out there. We're going to be doing a comparison today. This is a phone versus, if you will, battle of technology. And we're going to be doing this with two wonderful phones that we love. One is the iPhone 5, and I've loved the iPhone 5 since it came out. It was a beautiful phone, and then that would last about 5 minutes. So then the LG Optimus G came out, and it's gotten the love of my life taken away. That I've totally left the iPhone 5 behind when it broken home. So now I love the LG Optimus G, and I'm completely in love with it. And it really comes down to one word: quad core. Well, there's a hyphen, so that's probably 3 words then. So because you count the hyphen. Anyway. Thank you to AT&T for providing the phones for us today. We've got the iPhone 5 from AT&T. We've got the LG Optimus G from AT&T. Thanks to those folks, and wonderful thing. Go to their website, check them out at AT&T.com. That's AT&T.com. This phone's a little different than ones that are the LG Optimus G that's with other carriers and also in Korea. And actually, in Korea, it has a 13 megapixel camera. So let's talk about both these phones, and we're going to do a versus comparison. And I'm going to talk to you as to what stole me away. Also, the big screen is the other thing that stole me away. Oh, thank you. Thanks for that. So let's take a look at the devices, how they match up in size and skill and technical specifications. The iPhone 5 comes with iOS 6 on it, of course, the Apple Steve Jobs software there. The dimensions are 4.87 in height, 2.31 in width, and 0.30 in thickness. The similarities between that and the LG are the LG is 5.12 times 2.82 in width and 0.33 in thickness. The weight on the iPhone 5 is 3.95 ounces, as opposed to the weight on the LG is 5.19 ounces. On the iPhone 5, you're looking at a 4-inch physical size screen. You've got 640 by 1136 pixels at 326 ppi. It's got IPS LCD technology with 16.7 million colors, capacitive multi-touch screen, light sensor, proximity sensor, etc., etc. The LG, this is one of the things that has made me fall in love with the LG. The huge screen. The LG has what I think is the most perfect size screen for a phone. Now, I do like the Galaxy Samsung Note 2 because it's a huge screen, but I love the size of this phone. It's, to me, the perfect size blended with the perfect screen. It's an awesome phone, and so that's one of the things that made me fall in love with it. I've been really disingenuine or I've just been lost in the world of the iPhone 5's small screen. So just tired of it. Tired of Apple and their little damn screens. So let's take a look at the Apple when it comes to battery life. Battery life is a 1440 milliamp hour battery, 9.4 days of standby time, 8 hours of talk time on 3G. Who uses that, really? What world are we living in? It's 2012 already. Stop not having 3G or not having 4G or 5G. Take any G you want, really. So the LG has 10 hours max talk time, but the standby is 324 hours max and a 2100 milliamp hour battery, I should say. So a huge difference between 1440 and 2100. They've even done some special technical work LG did to make the battery even better and stronger and faster and blah, 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 blah. Just better, okay? Just take my word for it. So they made this thing really freaking cool, and you can say this is a little bit heavier, it's a little bit thicker. Battery kicks ass. Another reason that I love the LG Optimus G. This, of course, the LG comes with Android 4.04. and the LG has said that it will get Jelly Bean. So the only problem with that is the same thing you get with Android, where it'll come someday, and so will the floods in Noah. Let's see. It has a display of LCD color TFT, the LG does. The resolution is 768 by 1280 pixels, 4.7 diagonal, with 16.7 million colors, 24-bit, which is also has an IPS screen. I can tell you the screen on this LG is the other reason I fell in love with it. It is super sharp. When I look at Facebook and other applications between this phone and this phone, it's super ultra sharp here. It's so ultra sharp that sometimes the pictures, if they're not good quality, they will pixelate because the pictures suck. You see a lot of that on Facebook, but the LG has this crisp, sheen, beautiful screen, and I find it's the same too when I compare the iPhone versus the LG and the Apple iPad versus the LG. It's got a beautiful, beautiful freaking screen. You almost want to make out with it. It's not like I've ever done it, but, well, I got drunk once. Anyway, the chip that's in it is an Apple A6 chip in the iPhone 5, not in the LG, keep in mind. The dual core 1300 megahertz, it's called the Apple Swift, they're calling it now, has a power graphics processor. System memory is 1.016 gigabytes of RAM, 1 megabyte of RAM, 1016 megabytes of RAM. I'll make up my mind, I'm just testing you really to see if you're paying attention. The built-in storage is 16 gigabytes. That's gigabytes. And when we look at the LG Optimus G, what we're looking at is a 1.5 gigahertz Qualcomm Snapdragon S4 Pro. And here's the, what did I say, 4 words? Quad core. Quad core. This has a quad core processor. Why the hell would you own anything that doesn't? Now, one of the problems with the quad-core processors that have come to the U.S., usually they're internationally based, is they didn't have a 4G LTE radio in them. They just had 3G, because I guess in Europe they're kind of like, I don't know, they're still like using smoke signals and shit to communicate with each other on 3G networks. So, I don't even really know what they do. They're probably banging on rocks. Silly Britons. So anyway, this is probably one of the first 4G quad cores to land that rocks, and so I've loved it. The quad core just races like a freaking monster, so we'll talk about that some more in a bit here. The memory, let's talk about memory. We talked about how the built-in memory, what it was on the iPhone 5. On the LG, the memory is 16 gigabytes. There's a 16 gigabyte card that's expandable memory. They give you a micro SD card. You can expand up to 64 gigabytes without having to buy a new phone. To do that with the iPhone 5, you're going to have to buy the more expensive models. Now you can get that 16, 32, 64 gigabyte. I think everyone knows the drill there. It's got 2 gigabytes of RAM, so this thing rocks like a mother. On the Apple iPhone 5, let's take a look at that. The camera on the iPhone 5 is 8 megapixels. It is undisputedly probably one of the greatest cameras that has been put into a mobile phone ever. Even some 13 megapixel cameras that I've seen just don't compare to the optics. The optics are the real key. It's got 30 frames per second, 1080p out the back. Front-facing camera is 1.2 megapixels on the iPhone 5. Conversely, on your LG Optimus, one thing I should point out is it has an NFC chip where this does not. And the losers at Apple, the people at Apple, have decided that they don't want to do the NFC chip. They want to do their own thing, so they're trying to ram that down everybody's gullet, and which probably will fail, of course. So anyway, the LG has an NFC chip, which is really cool, and it can use the technology. It's great. You can trade stuff back and forth. On the camera, it has a 8 megapixel back camera, and on the front-facing camera, it's a 1.3 megapixel camera. It's 720 HD out the front, 1080p out the back. So just like my favorite hooker. I don't know what that means. So anyway, we've got these two wonderful phones here. 1080p out the back. Two wonderful phones here that we have, and I got to tell you, I've fallen in love with the LG. This is my phone. This has been kicked to the side like a stupid stepchild. That you have to say, take your helmet, go sit in the corner. Not that I say that to my stepchildren very often, but when I do, it's with a firm hand. So with the LG, I don't know what that meant. That's abusive, huh? I'll edit that out later so that child services doesn't come again. So anyway, on the LG, it's a beautiful display. It's very fast and quad core, and I love it. The battery life rocks on it. It jams. To me, it's the perfect size for a phone. Now, given the one thing you do have with the iPhone 5 is it's much lighter. I like how light it is, how small it is. It's great for probably women and people in West Hollywood or something. I don't know. But it's great for that benefit. The one thing that I can say about handling the iPhone 5 is how thin and light it is. Now, with the iPhone 5, you of course have the iOS software system. You pretty much just have your simple swipe. You can kind of change the background. You can kind of create different folders if you want. The home button, of course, is what you're utilizing here. Across the top, you have your front-facing camera. You have a monitor or a sensor, and you have your speaker for calling, and down here you have your home button, which is a button in and of itself. Capacitive touchscreen, of course. Now on the LG, you have your speaker up here for making calls. You have front-facing camera. I think there's some indicators or some sensors over here. And then what we have is a capacitive touchscreen on the bottom that activates upon touch. You've got a home button, a menu button, and a back button, which is pretty standard operating procedure for the Android product. Now, one thing that people love about Android is the ability to customize so many different features, settings, and everything else that you do not have with the iPhone 5. And you know what? After time and time again, having Apple limit me to what I can do, I'm really tired of it. I love having all the different things you can do with you can create different widgets. You can see some of the widgets that we have here on the LG. There's also great things you can do where you can change the apps that you have. You can create folders. You can download all sorts of different widgets that you can do to enhance your experience. There's wallpapers. If we want to create live wallpapers here that move, we can take and do that. We can pull from galleries. Just so much more that we can take and do with the experience. We also have the ability to easily go into the menu and pop out of it, of course. And then you also have your speaking thing where you can speak now, kind of like much Siri. The one thing that is really cool with the quad core LG Element is, all these phones nowadays, they have voice recognition to them and commands and all that sort of good stuff. The great thing about the LG is it's got a quad core processor, and what that does is that makes it fast enough where it can keep up with people like me and how we talk. And so I love it because it's much more accurate than Siri has ever been with me, and I actually have the Android products understand me more. I must speak in robotic nature. Maybe that's what it is. You've got your quick menu up here across the top where you can take and do this. And, of course, you can edit it down where you can turn off different things. This helps because you're using a quad core. But what's funny about the LG is you'd think you'd burn through more battery. You really don't because it has like a, 2100 milliamp battery in it, if I recall correctly. I'm just going off of memory. So you can see the different notifications menu, and of course there's a notifications menu over here on the Apple. Now, one thing that they do have on the LG that's really cool is they have something called this quick edit, and you can go through and you can do drawings, save things, save screen elements, all that sort of good. Great for screen saving, and of course also great for basically making notations, keeping menus, all that sort of good stuff. So I like the quick menu. Okay, so we got out of that. I definitely pressed the wrong button there. So anyway, you can see the different menus, how they work, what the setup is, and all that good stuff. The other thing that I've gotten really tired of is you can see here that iPhone 5 has put in their menus the tap to tweet, tap to post to Facebook. Ooh, oh wow, hey, guess what, guys? You guys, thanks, Apple. You went and made it so I can post from different parts of applications to Twitter and Facebook. Wow, big deals, yeah. Hey, I'm sick of that. I'm sick of that whole operational thing that you get with these guys. Where you're forced to, you can only send stuff to, maybe whatever they want you to. Hey, what if I want to send to, just whatever I want to send to out there in the world? I don't want to have to be forced to I don't want to have to be forced to send stuff. Look at this. This is what I love about the Android product. And one of the things that I love about LG, because it's fast when it uses, look at all these apps I can send data through. I can send notes to. I love being able to integrate with Google+. I want to send stuff to Google+. That will never happen on an iOS 6 system. That'll be a cold day in hell. Or when Google buys Apple. That could be a cold day in hell. Or a warm day in Eric Schmidt's heart, I think, probably. So it'll be a cold day in, never mind, someone's grave. So anyway, I like this. I can share this with all these different things. What can I do with the iOS system? Oh, I can tap the tweet. Oh, thank you very fucking much, Apple. Wow. Yeah. See, I would like to share with a whole lot of other different places rather than just be limited and told that I'm a sucker and go sit in the corner and they'll tell me what I can share. BS. I'm tired of that. Done. Over. Finished, Apple. I love the Android product, but it really took a phone that has a lot of speed to it to really make a difference for me. So let's take a look at the back of these devices because you're tired of hearing me talk about all this crap and how much I. Yeah. It's kind of like my ex-wife.
Did you say call Tonya Barham?
No. It's kind of like my ex-wife. She just.
Command not recognized. Try again.
Oh,
Did you say call Tonya Barham?
Shut up and cook me something. Okay, so now let's take a look at the back of both these devices. On the iPhone 5, you've got two top glass pieces here, and then this kind of aluminum. I'm not sure what this metal piece is exactly. What do I look like, a metal tester to you? Huh? Give me a break. So there's a piece of metal here, and it looks really cool. So you've got your eye for your camera. You've got your microphone, if you will, and then right next to it is the flash lamp button. Now, the speaker is really smart how they moved it from the top to the back, because obviously if you're filming this way, you want to take and pick up the sound that's coming at you, and so it's much smarter they did that way. Now, the back of the LG is really beautiful. They've got kind of this little, I don't know what you call the back on there. It kind of looks like a graphite looking look. And then they actually have a glass plate, much like the iPhone 4S did. Now you've got your camera eye, your flash, the AT&T logo you can see here. And we have a small speaker right here, but it does the job. It's a good enough speaker. Beautifully designed back. One of the other things that's taken me away from the iPhone 5 is how beautifully designed this is, and I'll show you this on the edges, tops, and sides too. But it's a beautifully designed, solid phone. It doesn't have the plasticky nature of some other Android phones, and that's what I've really loved about it. I mean, the iPhone 5, definitely a well-built, beautifully designed phone. The LG, I think, meets that mark of being a very beautifully well-designed phone. Okay, so now here you can see the devices pretty much side by side. With the Apple iPhone 5, we have the power button. Across the top here, you've just got a small microphone hole and an earphone jack. Very beautiful design, of course, on the iPhone 5, but I also love the design on the LG. You can see it's got this beautiful graphite thing that it's done here. It also has these beautiful corners they put onto it. It's not just a simple junky, hey, here, let's build an Android crappy phone and set it down there in the market and not really think about the build of the case. And I think that's where LG is really winning, and one of the reasons that Android picked them for the new Nexus 4. Okay, so here you can see across the bottom of the device the earphone jack. We've got the grill, sync charge port over here, two screws that hold it all together. Once again, you have this really beautiful distinctive edging that I really like on the LG. And I really like the cut of it. And most people have seen you've got the beveled edges with the iPhone 5. It's got the band around it. But I just like how LG put some real thought into it. And it's one of the things that also made me decide to go with the LG over the iPhone 5. It's a well-built, solid, rock-solid sort of phone. Okay, so down the right side of the iPhone 5, we have the SIM card tray. It has a smaller nano SIM. Down the right side of the LG, we have the power button, of course, up here near the top. let's go ahead and flip these puppies over. Now on the iPhone 5, we've got the silencer mute switch, if you will, volume buttons up and down here. On the LG, we have a volume rocker that goes for volume up and down. What we also have is a flip-out tray, and in the flip-out tray we have a place where the SIM card resides, and also the expandable memory up to 64 gigabytes. You can take and plug in your SD card there, and away you go. Okay, so here we have it. This is one of the other reasons that I've fallen in love with the LG over the iPhone 4, or iPhone 5, I should say. 1644, that's actually a really good benchmark score. Normally it comes around 1500 for the iPhone 5, so we got a really good score this time. 2141 is a score we're getting on the LG. It's usually around 2100 to 2200, sometimes a little bit less, depending upon what's going on in the background. But this quad core, remember the 5 words I mentioned, quad core? The quad core makes all the difference in the world. It's, just look at the scores. It's like a third faster. It runs paces around the iPhone 5. It just makes it look like a clunky old car from like the 1800s or something. So anyway, you can see here the integer scores are 1250, 1570, 2112. Hey, that's a Rush thing. 3495 floating score, 1868 in memory, 1547. Oh wow, it actually beat it a little bit in memory. 940 in stream, and 597 on the LG. So there's actually 2 segments here where it actually did beat out the in memory and stream the LG. So, for me, the score is a difference. I mean, when you have programs that lag, like for instance Facebook and Google Plus are known for their lagging and their slowness and their issues and stuff, having the quad-core processor just blast through it. It makes all the difference in the world, and it's just crazy. So for this reason alone, I love the LG. Plus, it's the perfect size screen in my mind. It's more crystal clear, more beautifully designed, and everything else. I just love it. Okay, so let's talk the camera. The camera has a lot of cool features, but it is very simple if you're used to an Android phone. Now, the shutter speed we notice is much faster, and of course loading everything is much faster. If you've got to take a quick photo, you're going to get to it a lot faster with the iPhone 5. Now, very simple format that they have with the iPhone 5, or most of the iPhones, if you're familiar with them. You have the grid, the HDR. Now with iOS 6 on the 4S and 5, you now have a panorama version. We've used it a little bit, but I think there's still some apps that more people feel comfortable with in how they operate and how they work. There is the front and back, of course, changer. There's, of course, the switch between the photograph and the video. There's also the camera shutter button, if you will, and there's an area to get into your pictures. Let's take a look at the pictures. Now, it does take much better colored, it's an edge of better pictures over the 4 and 4S. Most definitely. Is it distinctive enough to go out and spend $700? I don't know. You have to add up all the elements of the iPhone 5. But the pictures are definitely improved with the quality of what they put into the optics and improvement. So I really do like the pictures better on the iPhone 5. You can see here some great colors that we're looking at. Now, they've also made some improvements in how well it deals in low light. You can see here a video that we're doing in a low light scenario that comes out really well, and of course that's one of the great things. This is actually a flash photo. You almost can't tell because it lights everything up, but this is a flash photo in a low light situation. Great colors, great detail. Here's a video. We usually use the floor of my video to see how it comes to the accuracy of color and the lines and everything. So you can see here it came out very well there. A little bit brighter than what the floor of my floor is, but you can see that it's much darker in this photo, but that's video for you. So it takes great, sharp, beautiful pictures, just amazing stuff. With the panorama version, of course, you have the edit ability to go up and edit. You can take out red eyes, you can take and crop, you can take and enhance the picture with colors, and you can also change and edit the photo to rotate it. In going into the panorama area, You basically click on it, and it gives you a thing where you basically move the iPhone continuously as you're going around and take photos, and it keeps track of where you're at. It's an okay panoramic app. I don't think I'd spend an extra $700 on this phone for it. Okay, so let's take a look at the LG's camera. And of course, one of the things is it's got a lot of the customization you can do on an Android device as opposed to the iPhone 5, where you can't customize hardly anything about the camera. You can, of course, switch here from video mode to camera mode. You've got your shutter button here, if you will. You've got an area for your photos. This tells you what different sequences or settings are activated up here. And, of course, you can click the screen. Now, the one thing about the LG, it's got one of the fastest shutter speeds that I've seen out of anything on it. It's really awesome. I hate when you're trying to record something really fast, how the computer takes so long to be able to get going. And it takes really a long time to take and do a photo, or even to switch between the two. But it's got a super fast shutter speed. It's probably one of the fastest I've seen out of all the phones we've tested. Now, what's great about the LG is they've made it so that the menu here is that you can take and customize this menu. So it's really awesome, the UI they put in the LG, which is really awesome. Unfortunately, one of the things they put in, and I shouldn't say unfortunately, but one of the things they put in is where you can activate this to where if you say cheese, smile, whiskey, Kamichi, LG, or one of these that you can program, it will take and do photos. And that's why you keep seeing it doing camera stuff. So kind of great if you're doing behind the scenes stuff. You've got, of course, all sorts of different settings you can set up here to customize this. You can edit this quick menu with all these different things: swap camera, cheese shutter, time catch shot, scene mode. You can completely edit this menu, which is really freaking awesome. I love that portion of it. Let's take a look at what you can do. You can swap the front and back of the camera. You've got a zoom on here. You can adjust the brightness, the focus, the image size, the scene mode. This is all in photographic mode too. With scene mode, you've got several different things you can do: landscape, portrait, night, smart shutter, ISO adjustments you can take and do, white balance you can do, color effects you can do, timers. It's just great, all the different things you can do with an Android phone's camera. Geotagging, shutter sound, auto review, storage, reset, camera help guide they even have on here, which normally I don't see in a lot of these Android phones. So you can adjust this whole menu that's over here to different things that you want to take and do. Switching over to video, you can of course do much of the same thing here. You've got an edit a quick menu where you can edit all sorts of different stuff. I really love this. I've never seen this before on an Android, so either I'm not paying attention or I don't know what the problem is. But you've got zoom, brightness, white balance, color effects that you can take and put in to place. There's this mono, sepia, negative, audio recording, storage, reset, and all that good stuff. So a great menu that you have here. Now, like I said, it takes awesome pics, and it's very fast on how it does stuff. Let's take a look through some of these. Here's video that we can take and play back for you. It takes great video, and very sharp, wonderful video. And of course, the screen that it has on it makes it so the video comes out just as much. Great colors, great focus. I've always been really impressed with the great colors that pop. So it takes great video. Now, photographic wise, it's good on photographs. It's not as great as the iPhone 5. I'll give you the iPhone 5 is better at taking photographs. The margin is a smidgen, very small smidgen. There are some different people that I'm testing that say there's sometimes in certain lighting situations, if you have lights around, you get some blow in, and they suggest that the LG's camera might be less quality and good than the Samsung S3. I would tend to probably agree with them more, but once again, the line is really slim on which is a better camera. So we're talking, I think, a difference of maybe 2 or 3% in whether or not the LG, maybe 4 or 5% in the difference of quality on the photos on the iPhone 5 to the LG. There, in no way, shape, or form is it a bad camera. It just, comparatively speaking to the iPhone 5 is what we're speaking to. Otherwise, it's a great camera for any Android phone, really. Wow, that's a great shot. Here you can see a picture of our floor. You can just kind of see the detail. Usually what we do is we look for this sort of shot for too many reds, yellows, and greens, where a camera has kind of been manipulated where it'll have a lot of yellows in it. In this case, we don't. You can see that there. Let me tell you, as a night camera and as a flash camera, this LG does awesome. It's got a blasting lamp to it. You can see here, this is our storeroom. Let's go into there, and you can see the colors very vividly in the room. Now, this is a completely dark room. The only thing lighting this room is the lamp itself. You can even see the colors into the case of this receiver, whatever it is that's sitting there. But look how sharp these colors are coming out. Colors are coming out really, really sharp at the end there. And you can see those colors that are there. They're coming out really, really sharp. Once again, here's with the flash. Great colorization. I got to tell you, we use this a lot for the Android testing, and that's some of the best colorization I could see captured. Now, these are flash shots that are shot in complete and utter darkness. So the camera has to shoot the flash, find the object, focus, and take the picture. You can even see for the first time, I've never seen this before, but the colors of the stuff that's inside of this receiver. Never seen that in all the shots I've done using this as a background for my Android shots. So I'm very impressed with the camera that's on the LG, especially on night and other shots. You know what? Are you going to notice much of a difference between the LG and the iPhone 5? Yeah, if you're a really good photographer, you'll notice. If you're the average layman, you probably won't care. But the only thing that I wish was better on the LG that the iPhone 5 has is that it has better camera. And I'm a pretty camera intensive person. But you know what? I've learned to live without it. If I ever really need to take some great shots somewhere, I'll use my iPhone 5 and whip them out. But for the most part, I can live with the production that comes out of the LG. It's a great camera. It's not a bad camera in any way, shape, or form. Okay, so all in all, I love both phones. I got to tell you, I love the iPhone 5. It's a great, beautiful phone, but I love the LG Optimus G more, and it's the first phone that's made me leave the Apple iOS product. I really think Apple has made some mistakes at putting up, not being super innovative, not putting out really awesome, great phones, and they've just been putting up with, well, we put up the 4, and then we'll put up this halvesy 4 as shit, and then we'll put up another halvesy, which is like a 5. And I think they've really been screwing themselves, and they should have been going for more power. Who cares about a smaller phone? I want fast, I want speed, I want accuracy, I want looks, and everything else. So, anyway, you can check out both phones, depending upon which phone you like best. There's both from AT&T.com, that's AT&T.com. Thanks to our friends there for helping us out, sharing the phones with us. You can go check out the Apple iPhone 5 and the LG Optimus G. This really is, amazingly so, an undersung phone. I'm really surprised more news agencies don't write about it, talk about it. It's faster than the Galaxy Note 2 from what we saw in benchmarking. It's faster than the Galaxy S3. It is a rocking, blasting hell of a phone. And I'm really surprised most people aren't getting that, but maybe that'll be a nice, dirty little secret between all of us, and we'll just get really cool phones, and everybody else's phones will suck. So, be sure to check back to the ChrisVossShow.com often. Be sure to check back the Chris Voss Show. Subscribe to the updates.